Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to Addis Dialogue. Now, Ethiopia has officially entered into the gas production game. What exactly does that mean for this East African country in particular and the Horn of Africa in general? We're going to be delving into all this specifically in the aftermath of the official inauguration of LNG, that's liquefied natural gas, on Ethiopian soil for the first time. Joining me here to unpack it all is Firooz Javizian, with deep expertise and investment in the transportation and transit of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. He has been instrumental in helping build key LPG import terminals and vital infrastructure in the Horn of Africa and other countries across the world. With the program, I am Shifarao Laiko. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining me, for making the time to come to our studio and talk about this important topic, which is Ethiopia, for the first time, using its own gas on its own soil. So I really appreciate your joining me here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So let's first off talk a little bit about yourself. You're an investor with a huge commitment and focus on energy production, with a particular emphasis on the Horn of Africa, and with a lot of experience which has been going on from your family to the current time. So could you just give me a little bit of a background of some of the major undertakings that you are involved in the Horn of Africa in particular, and of course in other parts of the world in general?
Thank you. We ship ocean-going gases.
Okay.
So specifically LPG. We cater landlocked countries, just like Ethiopia in southern Africa and SADC. Via Mozambique, we cater Zambia, Zimbabwe, other landlocked countries. We have about 15 plus year presence and expertise in Somalia, Somaliland. We have done a lot of auto gas conversions in other countries. We write standards. We do small vehicles. We do heavy vehicles, and some of the industries which wish to convert to gas, we help those guys.
Yeah.
So on national level, the agenda is now enormous. Ethiopia is finally online in its LNG production. The segments in the supply chain of gas are almost unlimited. I mean, what we do, we uptake, we buy gas from producers.
Okay.
In the Middle East, in the US. We ship it, we deliver it to end user markets.
Okay.
Now in between there are industries which otherwise have been offline, completely blacked out, or subject to tariffs, subject to government imposed tariffs. So Ethiopia has a huge industry gap that's steel, ceramic, glass, auto, vehicles, which otherwise would have developed very slowly. But you will see now that Eastern Ethiopia will take a very dynamic leap. And of course, I mean, the markets are a few. I mean, the gas is significant, it's economical. We have seen it for 40 years, 30 years plus. Our neighbors like Lapset, Kenya,
right.
Southern Somalia has now been offline for very long. So they need energy. I mean, diesel is not necessarily the best source to generate electricity. Of course, hydropower is by far the cheapest. But Ethiopia is so enormous that, the energy basket requires that you have options. So gas will allow all options on the table, and you can now become a power player in the region.
That's interesting because I know that you're also involved in auto gas conversion in Ethiopia. Let's also talk about that specifically in the aftermath of Ethiopia officially starting its LNG production. So what does that mean, Firooz, and how important is for Ethiopia's power landscape, and also what's the benefit for the Horn of Africa?
Well, gas gives you options. Auto gas is conversion, so LNG will be again compressed to CNG. It will run in two-stokes, in three-wheelers like the tuk-tuk, what we call the bajaj.
Yes.
Which is, they are about 500,000 of them in Ethiopia. As you've seen in India, they are, some run on gas, some run on fuel. So we hope, early birds like Hora are now looking into converting them into gas. Heavy vehicles, they run on LNG. Small vehicles like our two-stoke, four-stoke vehicles, the car, the automobile runs on gas in many countries. In India, in Pakistan, in Turkey, in Italy. Gas is the natural choice. I mean, it's available everywhere, it's easy to transport, it's cheap. So LNG is by far the cleanest and the cheapest way to manage gas in a vehicle. I mean, yes, Ethiopia has several dams, a lot of hydropower, but energy is a basket, so you have to choose your options wisely.
So you have to have more options, as in the case of Ethiopia, right?
Ethiopia is enormous. It's the altitude differences are in a way that LNG is a great option to transport gas. And there was a time that wars were fought with weapons, and now you can easily regulate energy to be your weapon. So
yes.
I mean,
it's very important.
It's very important. The region of the gas is in the southeast. It belongs to the Somali region, and of course, naturally, Kenya is in the south. The Lapset corridor, the port of Lamu. You have our neighboring regions like Somaliland, Puntland, southern Somalia. One option, I mean, since Ethiopia is landlocked, we don't have access to seaborne terminals. So naturally, where will the gas go? It may very well be converted to electricity, to power Lamu port, to power Garowe city, to power Bosaso, to power Hargeisa of Somaliland. So I mean, we have to look at how we interact with our neighbors. Sure, there were countries who were at war for many years. They might as well become our best trading partners.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's take some time and talk about the historical background of Ethiopia attempting to properly explore its natural gas resources in the country. As you know, Ethiopia has had multiple attempts at exploring natural gas resources, but these efforts have been underdeveloped during the time of Emperor Haile Selassie, through the Derg regime, and even through the EPRDF time. What are some of your overall observations of Ethiopia's exploration of natural gas?
Interesting question. I think the bill has now picked up. My quickest observation, of course, is that the cost of exploring and developing a sales market for the gas is now 100-fold. Before my time, the Japanese were importing LNG, and people were laughing at them in the 70s. And before our time, I mean, we are a few generations in the industry. We know gas very, very well. And what was $50 million 30 years ago is now costing $1 billion. So obviously the bill has picked up. Now we will spend, today Ethiopia will spend a lot of money to recover the cost of investment and developing the market. I mean, it's a sales market. At the end of the day, it has to make economics to sell your gas.
Yeah, in this connection now, under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's administration, Ethiopia seems to be making important attempts and discoveries as well as success stories by making more tangible strides in the exploration of its natural gas resources. What are some of the concrete steps that the government has taken in this regard by realizing its natural gas production on the Ethiopian soil for the first time?
Well, I see that the current administration is a doer. I myself have been on this field 3 times, 4 times since 2007. It's very important to actually produce, even in small scale. It will help the country to understand gas in its persona.
Yeah.
I know that the older Ethiopian generations have some understanding of what LPG is, low pressure gases. So this is now high pressure, it's energy, it's feedstock to energy. I mean, in the secondary markets, LNG is now turning into feedstock to manufacture petrochemicals, is turning into feedstock for the industries, is turning into a potential export market. And of course, I mean, vehicles, households will all have an option to shift to gas. So in the concrete elements, what we're happy to see is that this administration is a doer.
What exactly is the difference between LNG and other forms of gas? And what are the differences and the similarities?
Well, of course, LPG is low pressure gas. It's a petroleum product. It's ready to use. It has similar applications, just as CNG goes into small vehicles, so does LPG go into small vehicles. We use them at home. LNG is high combustion energy. We use them in heavy vehicles. All of them are cylinderized. They carry in pressurized compartments, just like your little household cylinder.
Okay.
This is now a horizontal, longer, bigger. They are all a source of energy.
In this connection, now that Ethiopia has entered into the LNG production game, what does the future look like for this East African country in particular and the Horn of Africa in general? Of course, you touched upon that, but what specifically is the benefit of LNG production commencement in Ethiopia?
Well, I think it's a little early to still look at the pricing mechanism.
Okay.
But it will be the makeshift breaker will be the how you decide to price this feedstock. LNG by itself, landlocked country, has strong secondary markets, like you mentioned. Dangote, fertilizer production, possible hydrogen manufacturing. A lot of industries may convert, glass, ceramic, steel. I think that the quality of gas and quantities are in a way that we have to look at how this is priced. If we are looking at export markets, neighboring countries are ideal. It's Europe is far, America is far, China is far, the Asians are far.
It's going to reinforce energy connectivity among the regions, right? In some way.
I think Rwanda, they produce gas. Uganda is now about to be online. It's a very, very interesting energy mix that Ethiopia is putting herself in as the strongest country in the Horn of Africa today.
As you know, Ethiopia is focusing on promoting the use of gas-powered vehicles, particularly those running on CNG and LPG. So what are some of the advantages of this shift, specifically from your practical point of view? And how can it help Ethiopia to achieve its broader environmental, economic, and energy goals?
Ethiopia is a very, very big country, very wide. The altitude differences are enormous. I should also open up that LPG is a petroleum product. LNG, CNG, they are an offspring of natural gas.
Okay.
So we are still required that a refinery is built, or otherwise LPG will still be an import. Ethiopia is targeting that we will see an import substitution, a shift to CNG and LNG run vehicles and industry. We are looking at the energy conversion in the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversion is extremely simple. It's a tank comes in the trunk, a switch comes on your panel board, on your dash, and now combustion is run through gas naturally. So
the process is easy, right?
The conversion is extremely easy.
Okay.
It's extremely healthy for the engine. A vehicle can now run for 1 million kilometers without even making a So it's by far the cleanest and cheapest way to run a vehicle.
Okay.
Of course, the mileage is also very, very efficient. LPG is low pressure. It's very little required from your operator, the driver.
Okay.
So CNG and LNG needs a bit of, we should say you should be up to date with the standards. So where we come in and, the converters, say guys like Hora or the companies that have decided to try this tech, they need also to have some help, a backbone of standards, and of course, we don't want to mention names, but when it comes to this technology, it's always better to go west.
Okay.
So it's about quality of equipment. Make sure you have a tank which is heat treated twice. Make sure you have good material. So in our case, we always go west. When it comes to at least small scale equipment, we always go west.
Firooz, thank you so much for coming to our studio and giving us this technical and wonderful explanation in the aftermath of Ethiopia's commencement of natural gas production in the country for the first time. I really, really appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Well, dear viewers, with that, we come to the end of today's deep dive into Ethiopia, exploring its natural resources. And a huge thank you to my guest today. And of course, many thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for having been with us so far. Until next time, take care and stay safe.